Welcome to Organ Donor Delivery.
Working in the White House meets the Stanley Parable. Now, this game is so much fun. I'll say this now, there's still 3 days of the voting period. This game is going to win the GameJam. I think the instructions at the start are a little bit complicated. I wasn't too sure what's going on, as you can see in the footage. But this game is so much fun. So basically, these like hands, hearts, organs, they come down a conveyor belt. You have to put them into a box. The game uses a really fun physics system. It's a bit hard to kind of throw things, but other than that, it's a lot of fun. I didn't know what I was doing at the start, as you can see here. But once you get the hang of it, as you can see, you get a heart or organ, you chuck that into a box, and then you put it in that tube behind you. I didn't notice at the time yet. You also put away rubbish when that comes down. You put that into a box as well. You discard your rubbish, keep your workstation clean. And then you basically use the money you get, because at the back there is sort of like you can increase your black market spend, blah, blah, blah. That's the bin there for the black market spend. It kind of becomes a bit of a risk reward about, send them to black market to get more money and increase your boxes to then make more orders. It's quite nice. This game takes a lot of inspiration from the Stanley Parable. There's a narrator that whenever you pick up a heart, he'll be like, I can't remember exactly what he says, but he says something really funny about, you're all in our hearts. If you put a box actually in the bin, he starts going, no, which is also really funny. The narrator is excellent, very funny. And to be fair, from a game dev perspective, this just shows that you can very easily make somewhat, let's say, boring sort of tasks really funny by adding something else. So, imagine this was you working at McDonald's and there's a narrator who's just being sarcastic and just being funny. This game just proves that can work in almost any format. And if you want to implement this into your own game, all you need to know is that, just make sure there is a reaction to the player's action. So with the narrator, anything the player does is, yes or no. There's a reaction. The company comes from the reaction. If this was me alone in the room and I'm putting stuff in the bin, that's not that funny. But now there's someone go, no, don't do that. That's now funny. The comedy comes from the reaction. The only downside for me is there doesn't seem to be a fail state. Maybe it's sort of a time limit on reaching the goal of 75,000, or maybe patients die or whatever. Would have been interesting. But other than that, the aim of the game is more just the sort of fun experience in the physics. Personally, I would prefer the more, let's say, stressful experience, but that's just me.